before we get started, just want to make sure we're good here. All right. Looks like the sound is coming in all right. All right, cool. I'm happy with that. Okay. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, better known as Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. And I'm your brother Mata Zapbath, back again with another impromptu video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. And the title of this lesson is going to be Dr. Brown says, Black couple giving birth to a so-called white baby is ridiculous. All right. And what sparked me to go into this topic to land back off the beloved elder Apostle Gabar was because there was a video that I recently did about a few days ago now, tapping into this. And there seems to be a lot of people that are coming into the truth, but you still have this narrative going back and forth that Esau, Edom is not the so-called white man. And now we have here in this instance where you're going to hear Dr. Brown make the assumption that the so-called Black Hebrew Israelite states that both of Jacob and Esau's parents were of color, which they were. All right. But he feels as though if that's the case, two colored people cannot come together to form a so-called white baby. All right. And, we're going to make a, I should say not make, but we're going to go into it. All right. We're going to get a few examples. All right. In modern day terms that two colored people can come together and actually have, okay, a so-called white baby, or what people would deem as albino. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to play this clip, and let me just make sure you guys can hear the audio, because yeah, man, just make sure.
Esau was white. In point of fact, according to Black Hebrew Israelites, his parents, Isaac and Rebekah, were both Black, as well as their parents going back.
No, they were both people of color. They were people of pigment. Isaac and Rebekah. Isaac had pigment. Rebekah had pigment. No such thing as black. Okay? No such thing as black.
That's right. And when you call somebody, Black or white, that was a social construct made up in 1681 in the state of Virginia. All right. Because before then, nobody was being called so-called Black or white. All right. But let's keep listening on.
People. All right. Isaac was a dark brown-skinned man, and so was his wife, Rebekah. She was a dark-skinned brown woman. She was a woman of pigment. He was a man of pigment.
And his twin brother, Jacob, was Black. And then we know
Jacob came out normal. Jacob came out with pigment. Now, Jacob's brother Esau came out with virtually no pigment. That's why Isaac called him Esau, which in the Hebrew is Ishashwa, which means he's wasted. What was?
That's right. The name and the Hebrew for Esau is Ishashwa. All right, which we're going to prove and back it up. But the problem is when you go to the Strong's Concordance and you look up the word Esau, all right, the definition that they'll give you, meaning hairy. All right. And we had a situation on TikTok Live a few days ago dealing with a brother that came in the chat room. And that was the whole basis of his argument, that the so-called Cajuns of Call cannot be the Edomites today. Right. And the reason being is because when you go into the Strong's Concordance, which we're going to do in just a second here, they give you a different definition. They tell you that Esau means hairy, and it doesn't mean hairy. Esau means wasted away is he. And what was wasted away from him? His pigmentation. That's the reason why Isaac named him Esau. All right. And you're about to see, because I'm going to break it down, go through that. All right. But let's listen on.
Was wasted on him. His pigment. He didn't have no pigment. So that gave him, that is Esau, that gave him an unusual look. He was a baby born without pigment, and he was a baby born to two people of pigment. That would be Isaac and Rebekah. Now, can that happen now? Well, we're about to see. But let's keep on. Let's listen some more to Dr. Michael Quaz Brown.
Later, from Genesis 36, that he takes two Canaanite wives who, according to the Black Hebrew Israelites, they were also black. So
the Canaanites were people of pigment.
That's right. And you know that this is why a lot of people get caught up within their emotions. All right. A lot of people get caught up, you know, within the semantics of using certain words. All right. Because when you use words like black and white and this and the third, all right, it has a sort of a negative connotation, especially when you use the word black. All right. Versus when you use the word white. So let me turn your attention. Let's go to Genesis, the 25th chapter really quickly. This is Genesis 25, right? And we're going to go down to verse 25, and it reads, it says, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Now, when you go into the word Esau, all right, I Shashwa, okay? I Shashwa, if you understand Hebrew. Now, when you go into Esau or I Shashwa, if you understand the correct pronunciation, they'll tell you here it means hairy, okay? And that's incorrect, all right? It does not mean hairy, okay? Now, take a good look on how you spell Esau's name, which is spelled Ishashwa, right? Now, to prove that Esau means wasted away is he, all right, or wasted away, when you go to, remember the way that Esau's name is spelled here, right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 31, and verse 10, right? Psalms 31 and 10, for my life is spent with grief, and my years in sighing. My strength faileth because of my iniquity, and my bones are consumed, right? Now, when you go into that word consumed, what do we have here? Ishash, okay? Ishash, all right? The same spelling as Esau without the Y at the end. So Esau's name was spelled Ishashwa, all right? But the word here is Ishash. Now, when you go into the word Ishash, all right, it means to waste away or fail. All right. It's the same as Esau's name. Now, let me pull up this template here. Let's go to let's see here. I might have to do it like this. All right, So, all right. So now when you here, I have a PDF, and right here where it says who is Esau Edom, Genesis 25:25. When Esau's name was later changed to Edom, which is Adawam in the Hebrew, all right, it means red, all right, because he ate the red lentil soup. But his name Esau is Ishashwa or Ishar in the Hebrew, which means wasted away is he, which we proved that. All right, when you get the word Ishash, which we got in Psalms 31 and verse 10, we looked up the definition, and it simply means to what? To waste away. All right. So when you get Esau, okay, Ishashwa, the Y at the end means he. Ishar means to waste away. So when you put it together, wasted is he. Okay, that's all it means. Esau does not mean hairy, which the word hairy is sa'ar, okay, or sha'ar, which means hairy. So now let's actually go back and prove that, all right, because they'll tell you that Esau means hairy. That doesn't. It actually means wasted away as he, right? Now, let me go back here. All right, so now let's go back to let's go here really quickly. Let's go to Daniel. Actually, we'll do it this way. We'll go back to Genesis 25. Okay. We'll go back to the definition, Strong's Concordance for Esau. All right. And let's go to the root etymology here. Let's see something right quick. Okay, no, they don't have it. All right. So let's actually go to the book of Daniel really quickly just to show you, brothers and sisters, something real quick. All right. And let's go to verse 21. All right. Let's find out the correct Hebrew word for hairy. Daniel 8 and 21. And a rough goat is the king of Grecia, and a great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now, when you look at the word rough, okay.
Strong's H8163. Sa'ir. Sa'ir.
Right. And it means hairy. Okay. Or he goat, buck. All right. Strong's definition, a he goat by analogy, a fawn, devil goat, hairy, kid, roughs, satire. All right. If I pronounce that correctly, Salakia. All right. So that would be the correct word for hairy. So if Esau meant hairy, the name shouldn't be Esau. It should be Sa'ir or Sha'ir. Okay. It wouldn't be Esau. All right. And this is why the beloved apostles, the bishops and elders, the teachers alike on down, always tells us to get into the habit of learning how to look up your words. And when you understand the Hebrew and the spelling, all right, when you have a better understanding of basic Hebrew, you can be able to put the words together in the actual definitions to what the words actually mean. Okay, this is why we cannot read the Bible at face value. Sometimes you got to go into the Greek. Sometimes you got to go into the Hebrew. Sometimes you even got to go into the Latin. You see? So now he said, going back to his statement, all right, that the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites claim that, both of the parents were, of color, and, but Esau was of not, he didn't have any color. He was so-called white, right? Let's continue.
Canaanites were people of pigment, no such thing as black. And the reason why, and we always, even Elder Pastor always talks about this, the reason why, even though Esau was told by his parents, Isaac and Rebekah, not to take the women of the Canaanites, Esau, which shows you Esau can't follow instructions. That's another clue that lets you know who the Edomites are. All right. It tells you in the book of Psalms 50 and 16 that they cannot follow instructions. They would
right. And that's exactly what that's exactly what Esau did. But for to keep it under the time, because I don't want to go over 30 minutes, let's go to this here, because Esau and Jacob were indeed fraternal twins. Now it says here, when you deal with fraternal twins, which is also called dizygotic twins, okay, it says result from the fertilization of two separate eggs with two different sperm during the same pregnancy. It says fraternal twins may not have the same sex or appearance. Keyword, appearance. So they may not have the same sex or appearance. Okay. They share half their genomes just like any other siblings. Okay. So sometimes a fraternal twin, all right, can be, it can be of the same sex or may not be of the same sex. All right. And the appearance can be different. All right. So let's dive deeper into this. Okay. Here, I have an article of a story, all right, dealing with these two British girls, which are considered to be twin sisters. Now, this article came out in March of 2015. All right. And you can look this up. Okay. And as you can see, all right, you have one that is of, dark skin, a little bit of, pigment there. And then the other one, all right, is red all over like a hairy garment. All right. Translucent, whatever you want to say. Her blood shows through her skin. All right. You look at them over here. All right. Obviously, she's going a little bit lighter, but you get the point. All right. Notice the difference in the hair color. All right. One came out a little darker than the other one. Okay. And as I said, you can look this up. All right. But that's just one aspect of it. Okay. Here is another example of a dark-skinned man. Okay, because sometimes they'll try to flip it and say, oh, but if a dark-skinned man gets with occasional call, that baby is going to be, dark, or it'll keep getting light. Well, you have one, all right, that has pigment. You have one that is not pigment. Okay. Now, if he's a Jake, both of them will be considered Israelites. Doesn't matter what the nationality of the woman is. All right. Let's grab another one. Now, here's an example of two, a couple of pigmentate cute. All right. But you have one baby son that has his full hue of a dark color. All right. But look at here. What's going on with this baby boy here? All right. He's lost his pigmentation. You see that? So this is why for him to utter such nonsense, all right, out of his mouth, it doesn't stand the test of time. You see what I mean? Let's get one more. Here's another article. All right. Mom of black and white twins often get asked which one of the boys is hers. It says a 31-year-old Nigerian mother had no idea what she was about to witness when she went into labor last February. Now she has no problem telling her twin sons apart. Brothers Daniel and David were born just minutes apart. Okay. Yet they look nothing alike except for big brown eyes. Their parents, Stacy, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, who live in Lagos, are both so-called black. All right. But one of the babies was born albino. All right. As a result, the adorable twins make heads turn whenever they are in public. Daniel has dark skin and black curly hair, just like his 5-year-old big sister. All right. And David has shocking so-called white pale skin and golden locks. And there you go. There's the image. Okay. Notice the little pigmentation of a darker hue than his brother. All right. He has a much, darker hue than, his brother. You see? So can it happen? Absolutely, it can happen. All right. Here's another one. This one has a darker hue. All right. Than his baby brother. So, it's not far-fetched, man. And here's a better shot of the two. Darker hue. There you go. This one is a little bit hard to tell by, but due to the lighting of the photo, but you get the point, right? And look at here. All right. And there you go. The picture is self-explanatory. You know what I mean? All right. So, hey, it's not far-fetched. Let's get another story. All right. This one is from the 20th of July, 2010. All right. And the headline says baby tail, not black and white. And there you see the mother of one with a dark hue complexion and one without the dark hue. All right. Meaning he had no pigmentation. Okay. Says a so-called white baby girl. Okay, so it was a girl. Salaki, I think I said it was a boy. It says a white baby girl with a mop of blonde hair and blue eyes has been born to so-called black parents living in London. How is this possible? like you, Dr. Brown, right? Dr. Brown doesn't believe that, a so-called black couple can come together and have a baby, right? Far-fetched, ain't it? But let's have a read. It says, a so-called white baby girl with a mop of a blonde hair and blue eyes has been born to so-called black parents living in London. How is this possible? While there have been several cases of different colored twins born to parents with mixed race ancestry in recent years, which there's no such thing as a mixed race, all right, because the scriptures tells you in Numbers 1 and 18, the pedigree is determined by the house of the fathers, right? It goes on to say, Ben and Angela, all right, who are originally from Nigeria, say they have no such origins which could explain the phenomenon that is their new daughter. Okay, full stop. So if they are acknowledging that they have no trace within their pedigree and their lineage, all right, that a baby that doesn't have pigmentation, all right, then that just shows you the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai to be able to do that, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai did it with Isaac's two sons. He made one of the sons without pigmentation, which was Esau. All right. Even if you go back as far as in a creation story dealing with the Garden of Eden. All right. When Adam had his son Cain and Abel. All right. We all know the story. When Cain slew Abel, the Lord placed a mark upon Cain. What do you think that mark was? That mark was a nomen omen, we call it. All right. Taking his pigmentation away. We see it again dealing with Miriam, the sister of Moses. Okay. When the Lord cursed her with leprosy. All right. We saw when the Lord showed the power, all right, to Moses by telling Moses to place thy right hand under thy bosom. And when he took it out, all right, it was white as leper snow, as the scriptures calls it. Okay. And so, but goes on to say, in the case of the baby girl, all right, there are three possible explanations of why she looks so very different from her older brother and sisters, who are both so-called, with a dark hue. All right, dormant white genes, which enter both of the parents' families long ago, a genetic mutation unique to her, or albinism. Contrary to reports, doctors at Atlanta Hospital, where the baby girl was born, say they have not ruled out this recessive disorder with affects skin pigmentation. Notice they say a recessive disorder with affects skin pigmentation. All right. But they don't understand. See, today, all right, they'll call it albino, or the other terminology is vertiligo, I think is what's called. Let's look that up real quick. I think it's called vertiligo, right? There you go, vertiligo. And it says here, is a skin condition where patches of skin become pale or white. It affects 1 to 2 in every 100 people. There are 2 types of vitiligo. Common vitiligo starts as isolated pale or white spots, with more spots or patches appearing over time. Now, what's interesting, when you go back to the scriptures, all right, because see, all it is newspeak. They changed it. But if we go to Leviticus, the 13th chapter, all right, those white spots, which the scriptures calls it white or red blemishes. All right, let's go down to this is Leviticus 13, verse 24. It says, or if there be any flesh in the skin whereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burneth have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair, all right, in the bright spot be turned white, you see, and it be in sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning. Wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy, right? Let's go down further. Because there's, let's see here. Here we go. Verse 38, if a man also or a woman have in the skin of their flesh bright spots, even white bright spots, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spots in the skin of the flesh be darkish white, it is a freckle spot that groweth in the skin, he is unclean. All right. And if we drop down, verse 42, verse 43, which is the main point. And if there be in the bald head or the bald forehead a white reddish sore, it is a leprosy sprung up in his bald hair or in his bald forehead. Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the rising of the sore be white reddish in his bald head or in his bald forehead, as the leprosy appeareth in the skin of the flesh, he is a leprous man, he is unclean. You see, white reddish. All right. Now going back here, okay, depending on the dark hue, that will be considered unclean. These individuals would be considered unclean, but they don't call it leprous today. This would be the terminology, newspeak, that they would have given it, vitiligo. It's the same thing. You see, it's just they've changed the words. All right. You got to watch this devil sometimes, man. So, let me see if there's anything else I want to get. We get one last article. All right. This one is from the CBS News. All right. And this one says here, so-called white baby shocks Black parents medically possible. All right. Medically possible. July 21st, 2010. All right. Black parents with white baby. And there you see, all right, it's possible. It is possible for two people of dark hue, both man and woman, to come together and to produce, okay, a red baby, as you see here. All right, because nobody's white. All right, that's why the scriptures describes Esau as being red all over his hairy body. Okay, like a Salakia. He pronounces, Esau red all over his body like a hairy garment. Okay, so I don't know, for this person, Dr. Brown, all right, to be somewhat of a so-called scholar, all right, how do you not know the basis of biology to even understand that yes, two people of color, all right, can produce a white so-called white child it is. But anyway, that's all I wanted to get into. The point has been made. All right. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, this was edifying. Until the next time. Shalom.